Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. So today I have a very special guest. I have a YouTube sensation, Kishen Tanna, joining us today from the UK. Kishen has 32.8K subscribers on YouTube. He has 10,000 on Instagram, 2.9 on Facebook, and he's just recently joined TikTok. So welcome, Kishen.
Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So this is like brand new for me. You're my first doing this video wise digitally, which I think is so appropriate because of your background. So I couldn't ask for anything better. So thank you. But just bear with me.
That's fine. You know what? I'm worrying that I have something stuck in my teeth.
That's what I keep looking at the screen and I'm like, okay, how's the makeup or the lashes coming up? What's happening?
I think we're good. I think we've got this.
Definitely.
Is it okay if I have to?
Absolutely. I have like my soda right here, so
all right, cool.
We're good. Keep it very cash. Nothing fancy over here. So you are one of the first YouTubers I've ever watched. So I've been watching you for a very long time. And yeah, I've kind of followed your journey. And so I'm like super thrilled that you agreed to be interviewed for this series. So yeah, just tell us about you for the people that don't know you, which is really odd to me, but for those people that don't know you, when did you start YouTube and why did you start YouTube?
Okay, well, hello, my name is Kishen, yeah, so when did I start YouTube? I started coming onto the site in about 12 years ago, in about 2008. So that would have been, yeah, so I would have been about 12 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a pretty young age, to be fair. So in 2008, I was a bored 12-year-old on my computer who stumbled upon YouTube. And that was the time when YouTube was a site full of videos with cats, just cute cats, or there were like crazy little videos of people falling over, crashing into things, you know, little viral content. And that was the time when I thought, like, it would be fun to try and create something funny about myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started making some terrible videos in about 2008, and from there I evolved what I think I have evolved into anyway, and I've just kept making different videos, and I've had like different channels over the years. So I wasn't on this one channel that I'm on right now since 2008. I went from this one channel in 2008, and then I jumped on, and then I deleted that, went on to another one, deleted that, and then I went on to Kishen Tanna. So yeah, it's been a journey.
What has been like your most favorite part so far? Like, I know, I don't know about your super old videos, like when you were 12, but I was following you for the last probably 6 to 8 years. And I remember those videos, and you did a lot of sketch comedy and a lot of like pranks. I remember the prank you did on your mom, which I just rewatched last night, and I was like on the floor laughing so hard. I was so bad for her. But Mama Tanna, you know, she's a legend too. So tell me more about how your channel or how your different channels have evolved and where you are now compared to back then.
Okay, so back then, let's just talk about what happened in 2008. So I wanted to create funny videos. I wanted to create funny content. So I thought it would be cool to record myself falling over and posting it online. So I remember getting my first ever camera. It was a webcam that my mum had very kindly got for me.
Okay.
And in the video, I turned to the side. I turned the camera to the side, walked in place, looked at the camera to make sure. This is all in the same video. There was no editing. I didn't edit it at all. Okay, so this is raw. I just pressed start recording. I went into place. I looked at the camera just to make sure I was in shot. Looked away. And then I said in my head, 3, 2, 1, and I just fell. stood up, looked at the screen to make sure I'm in shot, pretended to be in pain, stood up like nothing happened, and then pressed stop recording. And that's all in one video. And
Wow.
that video I thought would go viral, and I titled it saying "Funny Kid Falls Over" or something like that. So that didn't go viral, but I mean, it gave me the idea that this is fun,
Yeah.
kind of. And so I just kind of made like videos. I created actually videos to do with magic. I was quite interested in like magic tricks and stuff like that. My mom
I
always used to get me like
remember that.
these.
I remember watching a couple of those ones too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I
Vaguely.
did. I must have. I can't remember. This must have been ages ago then, because I
I
remember
remember a
uploading
card
that.
trick, and I remember you went up to somebody with it, I think.
There was a trick where I went up to someone.
Or it might have been one of your pranks. You were in a park.
Uh-huh.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah. I did make
back
videos in the park.
I remember a lot of pranks, and I remember just every time I watch your video, I would be like in stitches. Like I'd just be laughing. Even last night, I was going through old videos again, and I was like, "Oh, God, this guy."
So yeah, those prank videos. So that's those park videos that I'd make. I evolved onto them and stuff, and I look back on them now, and I cringe so much because, like, you think you're doing something funny, and then you get older, and you look back, and you just think that's just not funny. Like, even thinking about it, it's just terrible because the park videos in particular, I'd go up to. So I'm from London originally.
Right.
And so from where I was from, there was a local park to which a lot of, I'd find a lot of, I guess I can't call them this now, but, you know, there was a lot of people that I'd take the mick out of, okay? And I felt like I could because they were Indian as well, and I'm Indian,
Right.
and, like, we're just having a laugh. And so I'd, like, basically ask them really stupid questions, and because they're not from here, they didn't get the question. Just getting their reactions and stuff was part of my humor. And so I used to make videos like that. Like I used to do it up in Manchester as well, but I've kind of moved away from that now. And then I've kind of just gone into sketches and vlogs.
Right.
In the recent years, and that's kind of what I'm sticking to right now. That I'm going to play it like how I like it right now.
Right.
But who knows? Like 10 years from now, I might look back at what I'm doing right now and cringe again. So.
But I think that's the nice part about YouTube is it kind of documents things, so then you can kind of play around. And I think anybody, when we, in hindsight, things may look different, or we'd say, you know, we do that a different way or whatever. But I think for what it was, and at that time, and especially your audience, I think that's where you built a lot of it, and they loved it. Like, there's a reason why you blew up and have like 32,000 subscribers, right? So
yeah. Those were just the videos with the mum, though, to be fair, and like a few other videos that I made in the park. But yeah, that in particular really made the channel grow. Yeah.
Your engagement, though, was like, I was taking a look at it, and like even back then, you had a lot of engagement. So people were definitely watching you, not just for Mama Tanna, but
oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But there's also a core of people that just wanted those videos, which is totally fine because I enjoyed making them anyway.
She was a really good sport. I read somewhere, your mom, that she was getting into acting too at one point, and then she gave you that inspiration.
So my mom was going into presenting, and that's kind of what she wanted to be doing, really. She wanted to work in TV. She was doing TV interviews at one point. And I remember talking to her about this a few months ago, or a month ago. She was telling me she used to work for, she was in a radio station. She was a radio presenter. And I remember as a kid listening to her live on the radio, giving me and my friends like birthday shout outs and stuff. Yeah. And so over the years, obviously she didn't do that full time. She was also working in the bank. So that kind of took over, and obviously it's not easy when you have children and you're married. So she kind of, you know, started to venture back into her usual job. And when we came up to Manchester, she really wanted to pursue her own business. So that's kind of what she's doing right now. But I mean, because as we moved to Manchester, I've been getting more and more into YouTube. So I saw this as an opportunity for her to kind of go back into that kind of realm.
She's such a good sport.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
She's been a massive supporter. Probably my biggest fan. Yeah, she's one of two of my biggest fans.
Okay. Your sister being the other?
No. The other one is this one person this girl from Sri Lanka who I have no idea about. Okay. I don't know who she is. Yeah. She stopped actually supporting now, but which I've noticed because you'd always see their notification come up. So yeah, I'm my biggest fan. But yeah, my sister supports too as well.
Yeah. Amazing. So you were saying something about your mom, something like I had read.
I can't remember where that interview was on, but I remember it. Basically, me doing this, me pursuing acting is almost like my mom living her dream through me.
Right.
So I don't want her to ever lose that either. Like I want her to still be within that realm, be within that mindset of, I think, being around that energy. Because that's something that she wanted to do as well. And who knows, like she might go back into presenting. So
yeah,
might start her own YouTube channel.
That would be amazing. I would definitely subscribe to that.
Thank you very much.
No, she's truly.
Thank you very much.
Every time you come on, it was exciting. Yeah. We're like, okay, what's Kishen gonna do now?
To be fair, I didn't ever think of that, but now that I've just said that to you, I'm gonna write this down because I think it's a really good idea.
She should definitely do it. And I think a lot of people would follow her because she's just like, she's so wholesome.
Fact, I could have put my red lipstick on if you told me.
Why red lipstick? Just introduce yourself to them.
I am Kishen's mom. Hello, I'm Indian and I'm Kishen's mom.
Say something about yourself.
About myself? Yeah. I have a very cute son.
Not your usual Indian mom.
No, in a lot of ways. It was funny because there was one video I was watching yesterday and you were introducing her and you're like, so what do you do? And she's like, well, I give people advice and I do this. And you're like, you're a banker. That's what you do. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's it. And it was so funny. Like your dynamic is it's very pure. Right. So, and a lot of us can like relate to that because, you know, we have like the brown parents that will discipline, but then they're also trying to be our friends. And then, you know, so it's nice. It's a nice dynamic to see. In terms of your videos and, you know, how you're saying you like cringe when you watch some of them looking back, what is one that you wish wasn't on the internet? Or have you deleted those already?
I have privated some. A funny story about privating videos on YouTube, which I will get into in just a second.
Yeah.
So the ones that I have cringed me out, I have privated. So I probably need to go on my YouTube channel to try and see what they are. But I think from the top of my head, what I can tell you is, so the pregnancy prank is what blew my channel up.
Are you stupid, Kishen?
Yeah.
But it's also the one that I cringe at the most.
Okay.
And sometimes almost there's a part of me that wishes I didn't make it, only because when I watched that video back, I was overacting like crazy, and like the cry. Oh, it's cringe.
The cry was actually decent. I was like, is there tears? Like I kept trying to zoom in. I'm like,
yeah,
tears.
I am crying, but I'm also cringing at the I don't make those noises when I'm crying. Let me tell you that. Don't ever get it. No, anyone watching this, don't get it twisted. I don't cry like that. Okay, I have a very manly way of crying. In that video, it's just not manly at all. So yeah, that's probably one of the videos that I cringe at. But back to the point that I was. Sorry, go on.
No, I was impressed with the screenshots with the pregnancy test and everything. I was like,
Oh yeah.
how did this happen? Like, who was
I got
pregnant?
my mate to text me. Yeah. I got my mate, one of my best mates from childhood, Suraj. I told him to message me and
Okay.
pretend that you're a girl and
Okay.
that this has happened. So he was in on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one
Definitely.
that was on that judge program with you.
Yes, yeah. So YouTube has been a really good platform to help me with my career. Because, like, first and foremost, I'm an actor and I wanted to get into acting, and so YouTube has been a platform in which I use to get my name out there.
Yeah.
So Judge Rinder, producers of the show, had emailed me saying, like, "Hey, we'd like a YouTuber to come on the show. Do you have anyone that you'd like to make a claim against?" And I thought this would be really fun. And then I remembered this prank that Suraj had made on me, my mate that had made on me. And I had actually bought, so he pretended to be this online persona, and I had bought items online to buy this thing for this online persona that I was going to meet.
Right.
And then it's just a prank, and so I just thought that would be very suitable for the show. So I emailed them a few details, and they're like, "Yep, this is perfect. We'd like to see you next week." Everything happened so fast, like I didn't even know, like. So I just called him up. In fact, no, I didn't call him up. They contacted him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's how it all came about.
That's awesome. And that was about someone you're like someone you really like, Marcus Butler. He was like one of your inspirations, right?
Yeah. So back in the day, I used to watch him quite a bit, and I still follow a few of them. But it's just obviously my interests have grown, have changed. Not grown. I probably shouldn't say that. My interests have changed slightly.
We all evolve and and grow. That's fine.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, like it's just life. Like I can even see it in my own subscriber base. Like the people that used to follow me like a few years ago, apart from yourself, they would have maybe stopped watching a few videos and they just go on to follow other things. And that's just something that you kind of have to grasp as a content creator. Mm-hmm. Unless you, I think, until I really make a name for myself. Yeah. And I could make history, then I can have people that I guess, stick around for a long time. So Marcus Butler probably knows that, but he's got like a good, he's got a large fan base and stuff that still watch him. He's still cool. And that was someone that I followed at the time. Yeah. So yeah, Suraj really took advantage of that opportunity.
Okay. Is he somebody that like still motivates you or inspires you, or is there somebody that does that more so now in terms of the...
Yeah, definitely. So when I said that my interests have changed, mainly, so I got really into fitness about when I was 18. So I've always been into it since I was younger, but I started to like playing around with a few weights here and there, but I really started to take training seriously about 5-6 years ago. So my interests have been more into like fitness YouTubers and people that still are vloggers online, but they also make fitness videos, which I find really cool. And they're people that's the direction that I want to go into as well, along with sketches and stuff.
Which is what you're doing, and you're really like on Instagram, I noticed, because Instagram, everyone's constantly on. I think YouTube, once you're on it, then you kind of get sucked into this rabbit hole, and then 3 hours later you're like, okay. But like Instagram, TikTok, I see a lot of your fitness videos, and especially during like this quarantine time, you're trying to motivate people and trying to show them like you can still exercise at home. So
yeah,
I mean, that's the direction you want to, that's what you're now pursuing. And you're also a personal trainer as well?
Yes. So personal training is now how I'm kind of funding the whole acting dream.
Okay.
But like I said, like it's always been a passion of mine. So I definitely want to, it's almost like adding more attributes towards the content that I can bring online. So if I'm really passionate about fitness, and if I feel like I'm helping myself, why not try and help others out there? I mean, like, I wouldn't have imagined, if you told me 5 years ago that this is what I'd be doing,
Yeah.
I'd be really confused, because I always saw myself as going down the whole YouTube route, and just being a vlogger and a sketch artist full time, or trying to do that. And even though I am still doing those things, I'm doing even more things. And yeah, I think it's a good change towards what I thought was going to happen, because you can make a plan for yourself and you can really envision how you'd like to see yourself go. You'd like to, it's a good thing to envision yourself going down a positive path, going far in life, but you never know kind of what life throws at you, really. So I think it's definitely a massive change, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm trying to be sponsored by Gymshark. I'm trying to attract all those big
Like, keep
brands
that in. Maybe they'll see it and they'll be like, "Hey, Kishen."
Yeah, that's the kind of direction I'm heading in. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's nice about you, and especially like watching you all these years, is you've always presented a very authentic self. And I know that's huge in terms of being somebody behind the camera, as you have to just be you at the end of the day. When people start, like, I don't know, trying to put on like a second mask or like a facade or whatever, then I think you lose people, because it's hard to keep that up. But what I liked about you was you were always authentic, you were always true. And I think as you grow, your channel grows, and like you're saying, it's evolving, right? And it's, what's nice about you is you're always true to yourself. And that's very endearing watching you on YouTube, because the person that I see behind the camera, like when I watch your YouTube videos or Instagram videos, you're exactly that same person, like during the interview. So like what you see is what you get. And I think that's very, very pure, especially in this world where everyone's trying to impress. You know, everyone's trying to get those likes or impress. And I'm not saying that you're not getting that, but what I'm saying is the best part of you is that you're so authentic and you're yourself. And that's it. And then people gravitate.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because I did go down a path where I try to be someone I'm not, almost. Okay. You could hear it in the way I spoke, in the way I speak in like old videos. Okay. And that's not the accent change from moving to London to Manchester. It was like when I was in London, when I'm down south, when I'm talking to my boys, yeah, we talk like this. Yeah? Like when we talk, I don't know if you can hear the change, the slight, very slight change. But like when I was going into video making, when I noticed that there's a community out there, and when I started to discover like Marcus Butler, Jack's Gap, Pointless Blog, Alfie Days, stuff like that, I really wanted to be within that clique almost. Okay. So I wasn't myself. I didn't talk how I usually talk. Because I used to think in my head, like, people would just think that, like, because I didn't sound like them. How do I say this? I almost started to talk.
You were talking different to what you normally would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like trying to make sure that my pronunciation, and I was it was on point, and that I was quite articulated.
Which I think you are generally.
So I think I have become better at speaking, almost like over the years, and I definitely don't talk how I usually used to. I don't know whether that's just a confidence thing, but I mean, I was just saying that basically I was trying to be someone that I wasn't, and so I've tried to be as myself as possible. Because there is always an element of trying to be more entertaining on a video. Even on Instagram, this is probably real and raw. This is how I usually talk. But on a video, if I was to say, "Hey guys, how's it going?
What is good, everyone?"
There is a part of me that thinks that as well. But at the same time, I try and be as myself as possible. So another example of where I wasn't myself was probably when I was doing videos in the park, where I'd be talking to people, taking the mick out, and like I don't like that sort of stuff. But I knew that some people found that funny. Yeah. Like when I just that was a part of me that wasn't really me, which is probably why I don't make videos like that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is like a very new way of doing things for the time. And I was just like, he's just being silly and like having fun with it, and it's working. So
yeah, I was definitely trying to try something new. And it worked at the time, but like I just don't find it as funny anymore.
Yeah.
To be fair. So
you actually studied acting in Sheffield for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
you're like
So
trained. Like this is.
Yeah. So when I moved to Manchester, I was studying acting here, and then I went to study acting in university. I had a few options. So the options were to go to drama school or study acting in university. But with drama school, you're in there 9 to 5, 9 to 6 every day. And so like you're in 40, 50 hours a week.
Right.
A lot of contact hours. Excuse me. And on the weekends is the only free time that you get. So I just thought, if I'm trying to make videos for my channel, I'm not really going to have the time to make content. So it made sense for me to study acting in university. And the other option, the only way to get to the option one was to get into drama school as well, which I didn't anyway. So it just worked out well for me to go to Sheffield Hallam to study acting there. And it was really good. I graduated in 2018.
It's been 2 years since you graduated.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, vlog? Kind of sitting down at graduation already. All that. And with this muffin, look how silly he looks. I just want to say, my sister did actually get me this really nice suit, so thank you for that, Pav.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Time has flown.
Okay. So then now you're saying that personal training is supporting the acting. Where would you like to see your acting career go? Like if you could have your ideal dream role, what would it look like?
Action superhero.
Yeah.
I want to be a Marvel superhero. That's my motivation for training.
Okay.
As well. Honestly, I want to be an action superhero. When I was a kid, Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire, changed my life. Like when I saw that film as a kid.
Yeah.
If you go to my grandma's house, even right now, I don't know why I haven't watched this, or I don't know why no one has, because no one can really see it. So I'll explain. I was so inspired by it. I wanted to become Spider-Man. So I got the Pritt stick and I started putting it onto my fingerprints. And then I went onto the wall and I tried to climb it. All right. And obviously I was unsuccessful. But if you go into my grandma's house, if that happens by any chance, if you stand at a particular angle, come over next week. You can't right now anyway. We're all quarantined. Maybe after quarantine.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on over to my grandma's house.
Done.
If you stand at a particular angle, you can see the fingerprints on the wall still, from when I was a kid. But yeah, like that's always been my dream since then, really. But that's something that I want to get into, as well as I'm really inspired by a lot of people online, not just YouTubers, but like I don't know, people like The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson has been one of your tops for like a while.
Yeah, definitely. I think my vision board is just over there, and I have a cut-out picture of my head just next to him.
Oh, next to him. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty.
You can see it,
pretty
literally
solid.
just there.
That's awesome. I actually noticed that in one of your recent videos. I was like, oh, he has like a full-on vision board.
Yeah, you can see it in videos and stuff. I mean, it's a really hard industry. And so you've really got to be as as positive as you can, really. Like, you can only do so much. You can be really productive, but at the end of the day, if you don't have that self-belief, you're just not gonna go through with many things. And that's true to every industry, I guess, towards whatever you kind of want to get into. So it's something nice to look up to when I wake up and go to sleep. Well, I can't see it when I go to sleep because it's dark. But
in terms of having this like positive mindset, like you seem like a very positive person, like across the board. Like whenever I watch your YouTube or I see you on Instagram or wherever, and I know like you're saying behind the camera, you have to turn it on. Like even I do a little bit of YouTube and a little bit of Instagram, and I do beauty videos, and right away I'm like, as soon as I hit record, I'm like, hey guys.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
You know, that like that switch comes on.
You could be down the whole day and you have to be like, hey.
Yeah. So how do you manage, like, I mean, you're human at the end of the day, right? You're going to go through different things and you're going to have good days and bad days and whatnot. But how do you manage that with being an online persona? Like, because I have days where I'm like, okay, I need to film X, Y, and Z. And then I'm like, I wake up and I'm just in like a bad mood, or I have like a creative block or something. And I'm like, I'm just not inspired to be on camera today because I can't turn on that switch. And I don't want it to seem like fake or forced. So how do you deal with that?
So is your question, how do I find the motivation to create content, or to
So there's
to create content?
Yes, how do you find the motivation to create content, but also how do you deal with, like, do you continue to still, like, say you wake up in the morning and you're like, not feeling it, but I'm still going to produce this content, and do you just kind of overcome it and turn it on? Or do you go through some sort of process to get you to that positive space? Because whenever I see you, you're very, like, you're in a good place. Like, you're very positive and you're very, like, motivating. So how do you keep that? Did I actually stump Kishen Tanna?
It's a really good question. Different ways, and I didn't know that I come across in that way. But what I know, what I do for me is I fake it till I make it, almost. And at the same time, so no, I think that's a bad answer, because I don't mean like I'm faking feeling positive and feeling really down inside. But when I say fake it till I make it, I mean pretending like I am this. I'm viewed by a lot of people. Yeah. And I'm talking to a massive audience. Even if a video doesn't do very well, because that's one of the things. Like so you were talking about limiting factors. So one of the limiting factors that you probably have when you're creating content is people won't see it. So to get over that, I imagine I'm talking to a massive audience all the time. And so that's the faking it till I make it. That's what I mean by that. So like, even if the video doesn't do too well, I'm pretending I'm going about it like as if I've already made it. So that's what helps me get over that limiting factor. Another limiting factor that I'll probably go through is the fact that I probably won't enjoy making the video. So let's just say I plan to make a public I plan to make some interviews in the park, like how I did a few years ago, where I found it cringe to make. If I have that thought that it's not going to be me, I won't make that video, because that's just going to come across in the video. So it's okay to have that rest, and it's okay to plan it off. Don't feel bad for doing that, because you're doing yourself a favor. Because you want to enjoy every video that you make. You want to enjoy the process. So that's how to get over that. What helps me to stay motivated is training. That generally keeps me in a good mood, releases a lot of feel-good hormones. Because I'm so amped up, probably not a good thing to mention, but I have coffee before, and that's probably what helps me as well, the caffeine.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. And so if we're talking about external forces, that's probably
Yeah.
what's helping me keep me going. But I'm not a caffeine addict. I don't have a lot, but I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
you generally feel quite hyped. Even without caffeine, after a workout, you're more alert, more focused, and the caffeine helps.
Okay.
So that's one other thing. What else do I do to keep motivated is seeing that vision board every day. So it just reminds me and it grounds me, because it's showing me what's out there, and it's reminding me that the universe is abundant. Sometimes we have limiting thoughts because we feel like the world is like closing in on ourselves, and all you've got to do is make a video for yourself, but it feels like you just don't want to, because like I was talking about limiting factors, but you'll have plenty of different limiting factors. Everyone's slightly different. So by looking at that, it just reminds me that like life moves on, and it's okay to skip a video if you need to. And the way social media works, the way the whole world of creating content is, you're a content creator. You are creating content. You will make content. You will find stuff that doesn't work, and that's okay. You've been there. You've done that. You move on. You create something else, and you get into that whole thing where, you know, you're just creating a lot of content, and then someday something will stick, and you won't have those limiting factors. You're human. No one's a robot, so we're always going to have those days where we feel down. But as long as we stay active, as long as we remain productive on the factors that we can change, so like not change but control. So for example, if we were to work out, if we were to have daily activity, if we were to meditate, if we were to eat the right foods, cut out junk food, because that can definitely disrupt our thinking processes sometimes. As long as we stay active on that part, we can't really complain too much, I guess. It's a question that can go really deep.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is focus on the things you can control.
Yeah. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Yeah, because those are the key points that I wanted to mention, but I just ramble on sometimes.
I got a little emotional like a minute ago. I was like, oh, this is like really, really like from the heart. Like,
yeah, no,
what
definitely.
I'm saying is
like,
like
I'm going through this.
You're very authentic, which I think really speaks to your audience.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how do you feel these social platforms have evolved? Like, I know YouTube was like, you were one of the first on YouTube, and then now you're on Instagram, you've started TikTok. So you're obviously evolving with these different social platforms, but how do you feel it's impacted you or your career? I know it's like helped give you like a creative outlet to showcase your talent, but how else has it impacted you or helped you?
It has helped me in a positive way.
Yeah.
So it's helped open up opportunities that I've mentioned before, with like auditions and like Judge Rinder that we're talking about. So it's definitely helped me with getting my name out there. It's also helped me, I think, the ever so changing social media platforms. It's helped me to almost develop a skill to just be a chameleon almost. It's really hard to, like, when you realize that there's a new social media platform, you feel like, oh my god, there's more content that I have to create, or there's something else, and sometimes it can get really daunting. So the fact that there's always new things out there, it's developed that skill of being quick to change. So like, as soon as there's a new so say for example TikTok came out quite a while ago, and then as soon as I kind of jumped on it, everything's a bit confusing, but it's developed the skill of speed, of understanding how to use the program, how to use the app, what to do. So I think in that respect it's helped me.
That's such a like good word for it is, and your
Yeah,
attitude skills. Like you're just,
yeah.
now this is like, okay,
It's
just another one. Okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's weird. It's interesting to see what content works on different platforms. Like, I'll give you an example. I made this sketch on Instagram, which was basically about gym creeps, coming up to you saying, "Hey, do you need a spot on this set, this, that, the other." So the idea is there, and I feel like the idea is funny and the idea works. However, Instagram is a place which is quite fast paced,
Yeah.
and you know, so you've got, and if you're going to make a sketch on Instagram, it has to be vertical and stuff. So I've learned that, you know, I've had to shoot portrait for that. Like
Absolutely.
there's the massive future with vertical video. So I've had to create a video like that. However, that video didn't do too well. It did okay. It didn't do too well. So I feel like the video was quite long as well. So I've taken a snippet of that and I've put it onto TikTok. Now I'm going to see how it works on TikTok. I feel like it might work quite well because TikTok is quite like quick. A lot of people are on it. People's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter.
Shorter.
100%
100% agree.
Yeah. So I think the idea of loads of different social media platforms, it's a good thing because it's taught me how to adapt.
Okay.
That's it. Adapt to these new social media platforms, because you'll find things work on different platforms a bit more than the other.
Absolutely. Will you still continue to do YouTube now that you're more
I think YouTube is king. Like, even though like Vine was quite big a few years ago, but Vine isn't so big now, but YouTube has always stayed king. So if that's not to say, like, let's just say Facebook started to allow, I think they do this now anyway, they allow people to put ads on videos and stuff. And there was a time where people would upload content on there. So for now, I am definitely saying YouTube, yes, but that's not to say things may change in the future.
And it's constantly changing, right? So it's not one thing or another. It's just kind of going with the flow, which I feel you're really good at. So good.
Trying to be.
So who's your biggest inspiration these days other than The Rock?
Okay. There's overall?
I'd say give me someone overall and then give somebody like personally.
I think someone that I look up to for clarity is Sadhguru. Do you know him?
No.
Do you know him? So he's a guru that basically talks about life. He's not very, he's a Hindu guru, but I think he just generally talks about life in a very calming way. And every time I hear him in interviews, he's definitely someone that I aspire to have the mindset of almost. Like he's very mellowed out. And it's almost like he has the answers to everything, but it's just the way he answers things. It's not done in a very egotistical way. It's done. It's like, I don't know how to describe him, but I'm sure you'll. I'll send you a few links. Yeah. He's definitely someone I look up to, and I think online, I'm inspired by this guy that I used to watch online. Who's called Chris Jones, Beast Mode Jones. So he basically creates these fitness videos and stuff, and just the way how he goes about his day, his lifestyle, his flexibility in his day. Like, he's got a kid now and he has this personal training business, and he creates these vlogs that people are always entertained by watching. Definitely. So he's one person that I also look up to. Yeah. He's like the mentor that doesn't know he's my mentor. I just really look up to him in terms of content.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. And Gary Vaynerchuk as well. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Of course.
Yes.
He's a legend for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
We all love him. So where do you see yourself with all of this in the next like 2 years, 5 years?
In 5 years, I really don't know. I see myself with, in terms of everything,
Mm-hmm.
Married.
Okay.
Married. Hopefully, I had a kid. Bought my mum a house. Bought my family a house. I see myself as helping people in need. I see myself helping people in terms of a number of things. So through entertainment, through movies and films, through charity work. If I can do anything there, that's definitely something that I'd like to do. And really experiencing more of life, because there is a lot to life than just trying to go. Like right now, the biggest thing for me, my biggest focus is achieving my dreams and goals and working on my goals. But I think there's a lot more to life than that as well. Like you really need to see the world as well. And I've been fortunate enough to go to some places and see some places with family and by myself, but there is a lot more. So I also see myself seeing the world as well. So,
That's a very pure answer. So where would you travel to once this quarantine business is done with?
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to go see my grandma and dad back in London. But if you're thinking broader than that,
like outside
outside the UK, I want to go to LA.
Okay.
I also want to go to Ibiza. Ibiza was on the cards
100%.
with the boys. You know what? I've never been, but have you been?
Yes, I'll tell you where to go, like what to see. I'll give you a whole list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to tell me. You got to tell me that. I'll hold you to that. So I really want to go to Ibiza, and I really want to go to the US. And those are the two places. and Canada as well. Yes, and Canada as well.
We were talking about that. Forget.
Yes, we were talking about that as well. Yeah.
Sorry.
We were.
Calgary.
I want to go to Calgary, Toronto,
Vancouver.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So how has quarantine been for you?
Quarantine started off as something that was crazy. It's the same as everyone really, because I've never lived through a pandemic like this before. So I mean, it's definitely something that I needed to get used to very quickly. It's been better than I thought, almost, because I felt like, in terms of training wise, because that's become a massive part of my life. So training wise at home has been okay. I thought it might get a bit boring after a while, but it's been quite good, and I'm fortunate enough to have a few things, a few bits of equipment, so it's not been too bad. I've also gone through, I don't know about you, which I'm sure you have as well, you go through waves of emotion. So like, you seem okay, and then you have some days where you're just really feeling it and you just want to go out. Like, you just want a night out, or you just want to go out. So like Ibiza, the thoughts of Ibiza just like, it just depressed me, because I knew it could go.
So
I mean, I know. I know. So it's hit me in waves, but right now I'm in a place where I'm doing what the government is telling us, which is to still stay home. We've just recently had Boris Johnson tell us we're allowed to go to the park and stay for an extended amount of time. Okay. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to take a few months. So far, quarantine, it's been alright. It's been okay.
Good to hear.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, definitely. And for yourself, has it been?
Yeah, it's the waves. Like, I think initially I was like, you know what? It's totally fine. It doesn't really impact me just because I am a content creator. I do freelance work. Yeah. So this is just normal. But I was in the middle of moving to Vancouver, so that all stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm in Calgary for a little bit. So the last probably week I've been like, oh, okay, I'm over this. Like, move on with life. But it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So what do you feel most proud of so far? Like, in terms, not necessarily in terms of YouTube, but just like generally, like how far you've come, even just like in life. Like what is something you're very proud of?
Holding a meet and greet in India.
Wow.
That was the most thing I guess that I've been proud of, only because like you're creating content,
Yeah.
you're in your house,
Yeah.
and then you're able to reach someone from the other side of the world.
Absolutely.
And people oh my God, the love in India is crazy. Like I remember when I held the meetup, everyone had so many gifts. Like I felt like it was my birthday, and it was amazing. I still have the cards with me. Someone made a T-shirt for me, and we took like pictures of everyone on the beach, and it was cool. Like I remember. So you mentioned off camera or before it was recording Harry and Trisha, right?
Yeah.
So we used to have this. We almost had the click. We had a click.
Yeah.
So we all used to make videos together. We always used to collaborate, and so because of that, our fan bases grew together. So we kept holding like meet and greets like every summer. From like 2014, 2015. I think the first one was 2014, and then 2015. And so I did one by myself in India, and that was just crazy. And yeah, I haven't really done one in a very long time, but that was one thing in particular. Sorry?
I was gonna ask you about that. I'm like, any coming up that we need to know after quarantine?
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I think. Are you coming down to London again?
Oh, I will always come down to London. I miss London so much. After quarantine,
I'll get in touch. Yeah, I'll get in touch with Harry and Trisha, and we'll see what's up.
But yeah, you guys should definitely do a meetup after quarantine. But
yes, after quarantine.
It's been a while, right? Like 2015. Wow, 5 years.
Yeah, but 2015 only feels like 3 years ago. But
I know.
It's, yeah, when you do the math, 5 years ago now. Yeah.
Oh, time's flying.
Definitely is. Thank you for the interview.
No,
good.
Thank you for the interview. I thoroughly enjoyed this. You're very sweet and you're very authentic, and yeah, it was such a pleasure speaking with you, especially all these years after watching you. Now I'm like, oh
yeah.
No,
it's great. Yeah. Thank you very much for getting in touch. And yeah, I just wish you the best of luck, especially with the whole COUTURE and the YouTube channel. So is this your first video you're going to make for your YouTube channel?
Video.
Right, that's
Thank you so much. I know I took up a lot of your time, but I really appreciate it. I wish you the best. Keep doing you because you're amazing, and I've thoroughly enjoyed your videos all these years.
Thank you.
And just keep doing you, because you're definitely gonna go places. I know that. So
as you are.
Thank you.
As you are. Okay. Definitely are. Throughout this whole thing, I keep forgetting that I'm being interviewed, so I've had to hold back a lot of times because I've been wanting to say, "What about you?" But then I just realized you have to.
It's totally fine. Like I said, just to be like super cash. Like it doesn't have to be like full-on interview. But